610 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. From Yuma, the Brush Beat Diggers face the Yuma Outlaws. Good afternoon, I'm Kevin Fergus. We've got the ball game. The wind is blowing straight out of the west, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And the way the field is oriented, anything hit out to right field is going to get knocked down because right field is straight west. Dimensions, Yuma Baseball Field's park is 304 down the left field line, 296 down the right field line, 334 in center. And Brush Beat Diggers come into this game today with a 9-game losing streak. Brush Beat Diggers at 7-13 on the season. And Brush looking to get off the snide as this is the last week of the regular season. We'll go through today's lineups. The Brush Beat Diggers starting lineup is brought to you by B&B Appliance. With over 30 years of experience, B&B Appliance can help you match the appliances to your need. Stop by 502 Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. The Beat Digger lineup today is Percy Odell will lead off, and he'll be the pitcher. Ben Metlin will hit second and I think third base, but it could be right field. Landon Mesh will hit third, playing second base. Tanner Ledgate will be the shortstop, hitting fourth. Keaton Gillick is in left field, hitting fifth. Sawyer Albert is at first base, could be right field, hitting sixth. Edgar Ortiz will be hitting seventh. Hunter Proctor will be hitting eighth, and Wiley Eicher will be hitting ninth. So for the Diggers, that's their starting lineup. The first pitch is brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Buildings by Design will help make your vision a reality. Visit buildbydesign.com. The first pitch from Hugo Montez, and that's fouled down the right field line by Percy Odell. Percy Odell comes into this game hitting 271. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll set the lineups for Yuma. Hugo Montez is on the mound, and Christian Thompson is the catcher. The pitch from Montez inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Rayleigh Trejo at third, Alex Pensado at short, Silas Bauke at second, Carson Lynch at first. The pitch from Montez, and that ball hit out shortstop and into center field for a single by Percy Odell. Hard grounder up the middle. It was just in order to, it just got to the left side of Pensabo's glove and made it to the outfield. So from there, Ben Metlin comes to the plate. Ben Metlin hitting 258 on the season. Odell leads off at first and takes off to second and has stolen second base easily. Pitch to Metlin was a ball. So Odell on at second. Brush with their 9-game losing streak. They faced the Gauntlet, University, Eaton, Rez, and Sterling. They lost to Wellington, and then they lost 4 games down in Hayes, Kansas. The pitch from Montez to Metlin inside. 2 balls, no strikes to number 9 on his back as the Beat Diggers have their gray pants with their gold marigold uniforms. The pitch, and that ball hit down the right field line, foul. Count 2 balls and a strike. Odell was on the move with the pitch. 2 balls and a strike to Ben Metlin, a sophomore. Percy Odell leads off at second. Montez, the pitch, and that ball's fouled back into the screen. To round out Yuma's lineup, Tanner Hines is in left field, Angel Escobar is in center, and Lennox Hua is in right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Metlin. Odell on at second. Top of the first inning. Beat Diggers challenge. Odell off with a pitch, and that ball's fouled to the screen. Statistics for Hugo Montez. Pitcher, senior pitcher for the Yuma Indians, 6.6 2/3 innings. And in those 6 2/3 innings, he's given up 12 base on balls and only has 3 strikeouts. 25.20 ERA, and that pitch from Montez upstairs brings a full count to Metlin. Outfield for Yuma is not playing deep, especially center field and right field, and that pitch popped up and out of play. The 8th pitch of this at bat will be coming to Ben Metlin. And fake pick off to second, and Odell gets back in safely. Full count to the batter, Ben Metlin. The offering, and that ball swung at and missed, strike 3. Odell stays at second. Landon Mesh comes to the plate. Landon Mesh hitting .348, leads the team in hits, 23 RBIs, or 23 hits and 12 RBIs. Pitch outside to the left-handed hitting Landon Mesh. Beautiful day for baseball, just that the wind decided to blow. 65 degrees game time temperature, and that pitch just outside. 2 balls, no strikes to the batter, Metlin. Yuma wearing their white uniforms with pinstripe down their leg. And that pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Yuma has a Y in their upper left hand on the front of their uniform, and number in the left hand, the bottom right hand corner. And that ball fouled down the left field line, foul. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yuma coming into the game, they're 8 wins, 8 losses. At one point, they were 6-1. So they've faced the gauntlet in the lower Platte League. Pitch, and that ball hit by Mesh and fouled back and over the screen. Brush getting deep into the count against Montez. Yuma's 2 better pitchers, Rayleigh Trejo and Silas Balke, will not be pitching today. And that ball hit down the left field line, and that's tailing foul. Count remains 2-2. Be nice for Brush to be able to get a run here in the top of the first. They've not enjoyed a lead for some time. Brush's record was 7-4 before they started face the gauntlet. And that ball hit out towards left field. And Tanner Hines over to the line and catches the ball for the out. And Odell, with everything in front of him, stays at second base. So a pop out for Landon Mesh down the left field line. 2 outs in the inning. Odell at second via a base hit. Tanner Ledgate comes to the plate. Ledgate hitting .373, leads the team in batting average, 19 hits, 15 runs. The pitch for Montez, and that pitch upstairs, a ball, and Ledgate will lead off the top of the second inning as Odell attempted to steal third, and the umpire ended up calling him out. For Brush, no runs, 1 hit, no Yuma errors, nobody left on base after a half inning of play. Brush 0, Yuma coming to the plate. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Digger Baseball, Percy Odell will be your pitcher today for the Brush Beat Diggers. Percy comes into the game with a 3.60 ERA, 11 2/3 innings. Out of those 11 2/3 innings, 5 base on balls, and 14 Ks, looks like. And Rushes line up. Percy Odell on the hill. Wiley Eicher behind the plate. Edgar Ortiz is at third base. Tanner Ledgate at shortstop. Landon Mesh at second. Sawyer Albert at first. Keaton Jellick in left. Hunter Proctor in center field. And Ben Metlin in right field. For Yuma, Rayleigh Trejo will be the leadoff hitter. No, Angel Escobar will be the leadoff hitter. Escobar will be leadoff. Lennox Hua will hit second. Silas Bauke will hit third. Rayleigh Trejo will hit fourth. Carson Lynch will hit fifth. Hugo Montez will hit sixth. Christian Thompson seventh. Duarte will be Marvin Duarte will be the DH for the left fielder Hines. And hitting ninth will be the shortstop Alex Pensado. First pitch from Percy Odell to Escobar is fouled back into the screen. Odell gets a sign from Eicher, working together, the battery, pitch upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike to Angel Escobar. 268 on the season for Escobar. That ball hit out towards left field. And Proctor comes over, dives, but the ball gets to the grass first. And Escobar has a line drive base hit to left center field. Solid hit by Escobar. Lennox Hua comes to the plate, hits from the left side. Hua wears a number 9 on his back. Escobar leads off at first. Odell takes a look. About a 4-step lead for Escobar. And fake goes, and ball hit out towards short. Ludgate over to Mesh to Albert. 6-4-3, double play, just like that. Just like you draw it up. That's just the way you play baseball. Perfect. You can't draw that up any easier than that. Silas Bauke comes to the plate. Bauke, the big hitter for Yuma, 455 on the season, 2 home runs. And that ball hit foul. Bauke has 16 RBIs on the season. Percy Odell to sign the pitch, and that ball popped up, and that one's going to go out of play. Bauke wears 23 for the Yuma Outlaws. And that's one thing that if I end up saying Indians, it's just tradition because Yuma's always been Indians, and they'll always be Indians in my heart. But according to the bylaws, they are the Outlaws. That pitch upstairs by Percy Odell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The offering took a little bit off, swung at, and fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Silas Bauke, the number 3 hitter playing second base today. Odell gets the sign. Full windup and fouled down the third baseline. The reason why when I went through the lineup, originally Albert was in right, Metlin was at third, and Ortiz was at first. Then during warm-ups, pregame warm-ups, they ended up all switching that pitch upstairs by Odell. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Ortiz is at third, Albert is at first, Metlin's in right. 2-2, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. The pitch took a little bit off, and that ball hit down the left field line and all the way to the fence. Bauke rounds first and heads into second, standing up. 2-out double for Silas Bauke. And he hit that ball hard down the left field line and to the fence. As I mentioned, 304 down the left field line, 296 to right field, 334 in center. Those are dimensions, the brushes in left and right field line. Center field brush is 386, if I remember right. 334 is pretty shallow. Leads off at second, and that ball fell to the screen by Rayleigh Trejo. Rayleigh Trejo hitting 302 on the season. Jillick in left, Proctor in center, Metlin in right. The pitch from Odell. Strike. The letters outside corner. Odell ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Ortiz at third. Ledgate at short. Mesh at second. Albert at first. And the 0-2 pitch, and time was called as Odell was delivering his pitch. So no pitch. Percy Odell on the hill. His battery mate, Wiley Eicher, behind the plate. The 0-2 pitch, and that ball outside corner, and called a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You have a good advantage point up here, but I am to the left of the umpire. I thought that pitch looked like it caught more of the plate than that, but the umpire's right on top of the plate, and that ball hit out to Odell. 1 hop over to first, underhand to Albert for a 1-3 put out. So for Yuma, no runs, 2 hits, no Brush errors, and 1 runner left on base after 1 complete inning of play. Brush 0. Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR. Kevin Fergus with you this afternoon. Rose Condis, the engineer for the program. Brush and Yuma hooking up for a baseball game. 3 o'clock start. 65 degrees temperature, wind out of the west, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Brush had a base hit by Odell in the first inning. Yuma had 2 hits by Escobar and by Balke, and neither team was able to come up with a run. Odell ended up attempting to steal third and was thrown out for the 3rd out. And for Escobar, after he got on base, he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, and batter later than Balke hit a double, but he was stranded at second. Hugo Montez will face Tanner Ludgate, the pitch, and that ball hit out towards left field, shallow left, and Hines comes in, and third baseman, Rayleigh Trejo, went back and looked like he was going to take the ball, but Hines was calling for it, and then Trejo and then Hines, they both separated. Ball drops for a base hit. Shallow base hit. Nonetheless, pitch outside to Keaton Gillick. I think the umpire called that a strike, so we'll go no balls and a strike to Gillick in that pitch. Upstairs, evens a count at 1. Yeah, umpire confirms 1 ball, 1 strike. Ludgate on at first. I talked to Tanner before the game, asked him about his leg, his ankle, and he had a high ankle sprain. And pretty much, for the most part, he's back to normal. That pitch to Gillick upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Gillick hitting 286 on the season. The pitch in the dirt, and Ludgate takes off, and Ludgate gets to second base on the pass ball. 3 balls and a strike. Three balls and a strike to Keaton Gillick, runner on at second. Ludgate, a pitch from Montez, and that ball in the dirt, and escapes the catcher Thompson, and Gillick hustles down to first, and Ludgate moves from second to third on the pass ball. So 2 pass balls moves Ludgate from first to third. Gillick now on at first and third for the Beat Diggers. Sawyer Albert comes to the plate. Sawyer Albert hitting .293, 10 RBIs on the season. This would be a perfect opportunity to get RBI number 11. And that pitch, outside, ball 1. And on the pitch, Gillick takes second. Defensive indifference. So runners at second and third. The pitch upstairs to Sawyer Albert, 2-0 to Sawyer Albert. As I mentioned, 10 RBIs on the season. It would be a great opportunity. Base hit here would knock in 2. Pitch from Montez to Albert, and that ball fouled down the third baseline. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out in the top of the second inning. Brush with an excellent opportunity here in order to be able to score a run, score some runs. That'd be wonderful. Pitch from Montez, and that ball hit out towards shortstop, Alex Pensado. He settles under it and squeezes it for the first out. So 1 out. And runners at second and third. And Edgar Ortiz comes to the plate. Edgar hitting .257 on the season. Edgar, number 27 on his uniform. 27. Montez, the sign, the pitch. Low and inside to Ortiz. Montez 30 pitches into the game. 14 balls, 16 strikes. The offering, and that ball hit out towards center field. And we should be deep enough in order to be able to get a sacrifice fly. And with that, Ludgate comes in and scores. And Gillick moves from second to third on the sacrifice fly by Edgar Ortiz. 2 outs in the inning. Brush takes the lead. So Brush with a 1-0 lead. Top of the second inning. 2 outs. Runner at third. Proctor attempt bunt at the plate and fouled to the screen. Wiley Eicher is on deck. Proctor, a senior. Wiley Eicher, a senior. They graduate this next Sunday. Brush High School graduation takes place. The pitch to Hunter Proctor, inside. Corner, a strike. Proctor down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And check swing, and ball ends up at the backstop, and Proctor down to second. Gillick comes in and scores, and Proctor moved up to second base on the dropped third strike. So let's see, Brush with a 2-0 lead. Wiley Eicher at the plate, and that pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Pitch from Montez in the dirt, wild pitch, and with that, Proctor moves up to third base. So several pass balls this inning and a wild pitch. And that pitch outside to Wiley Eicher. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner at third, Proctor, and that pitch upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike. Wiley Eicher choked up on the bat. Pitch, and that pitch right down middle. brings the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brush with 2 runs in the inning. Montez the pitch, and that pitch, ball 4. Eicher on at first. Hunter Proctor on at third. Top of the order for the Bee Diggers. Percy Odell comes to the plate. The pitch, and that ball popped up mile high in the infield. They all converge, and that ball's going to drop safely. And with that, Proctor comes in and scores. Eicher ends up at third, and Odell, with his second hit of the ball game, at second base. Nobody called off anybody for that, and it lands safely. So runners at second and third. Brush with a 3-0 lead. Here in the top of the second inning, Ben Metlin 0 for 1 on the day at the plate. The pitch, and that pitch over the head of Ben Metlin. 2 balls, no strikes to Ben Metlin. Montez from the stretch. The offering, and that pitch, a strike at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Brush 3 runs on 2 hits this inning. No errors, but 2 mental errors for Yuma. The pitch, and that ball hit out towards right center field. And that ball is corralled by Angel Escobar for the 3rd out. Brush scores 3 runs on 2 hits. They leave 1 runner on base, 2 runners on base, and there were no Yuma errors, although there were at least 2 pass balls, 3 pass balls, and a wild pitch, and 2 mental errors in order for Brush to be able to score. So Brush with a 3-0 lead. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, you're listening to Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush baseball with a 3-0 lead, a lead that they've not experienced for some time, as they're set to break a 9-game losing streak as they head into this home stretch. They've got a game today against Yuma here in Yuma, and tomorrow at 4 p.m. Brush plays at Sunset Field in Brush against the Strasburg Indians. And on Saturday at 11 a.m., the Brush Bee Diggers play at home at Sunset Field against Platte Valley. It'd be great if Brush would be able to get on a 3-game winning streak headed into the postseason. The pitch from Odell, swung at and missed by Carson Lynch. Carson Lynch for the Outlaws, hitting .302. Pitch on the way from Odell, and that just outside, low and outside, evens the count at 1. Yuma's on a 3-game losing streak of their own. That ball hit out towards second base. Landon Mesh. Landon Mesh squeezes that for the out, as it was just a weak pop fly to Mesh, and then with the way the wind's blowing, it wasn't going much deeper than where Landon was playing. 1 out in the inning. Odell with a pitch to Hugo Montes, and that pitch outside, ball 1. Percy Odell gets a sign from Wiley Eicher. The pitch, low and inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitch number 20 for Percy. 13 strikes, 7 balls. Pitch outside. 3 balls, no strikes to Hugo Montes. The offering, and that's strike right down Broadway. 3 balls, 1 strike to Hugo Montez. Hugo Montez, that pitch on the outside corner, a strike. Montez hitting 200 on the season. Candidate for a strikeout. He has 20 strikeouts in the season. And that ball hit out towards right field. Mesh over to his left, picks it up on 3 hops and gets it cleanly and over to Sawyer Albert for the out. 4-3 on the putout. Christian Thompson comes to the plate. Christian Thompson hitting 273 on the season. Pitch, Odell, a strike at the letters, outside corner. Percy ahead in the count, no balls and a strike, 2 outs in the inning. And that ball swung at and missed by Thompson. Thompson, number 4 on his back for the Outlaws. The pitch, upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Christian Thompson. Number 7 hitter in the lineup. The pitch, strike 3 for Brush. No runs, or for Yuma, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base after 2 complete innings of play. Brush 3, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. Brush Beat Diggers with a 3-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. Yuma has 2 hits in the 1st inning. Brush had 2 hits in the 2nd inning, was able to score the 3 runs. Landon Mesh will lead off here for the Beat Diggers. Top of the 3rd, as Yuma finishes up their throws around the infield. Brush has left 2 runners on base. Yuma's left 1 runner on base. Yuma has games this Saturday against Burlington, and then they finish out their regular season next Tuesday, the 14th, against Byers. Yuma 8-8 on the season, 4-4 at home, 4-4 away. As I mentioned, the 3-game losing streak, they lost twice to Holyoke, and the game before that they lost to Wiggins. Pitch to Mesh is outside, ball 1. Montez, the full windup, and swung at and fouled at the plate by Landon Mesh. Blue sky, there's a few clouds, but the wind looks like it's out of the north-northwest at this point. Same 25 to 30 miles per hour. Pitch outside to Landon Mesh. 2 balls and a strike. Montez, the windup, the pitch, and that pitch outside. 3 balls and a strike. As I mentioned coming into the game, Hugo Montez in the 6 2/3 innings had given up 12 base on balls. That's 2 base on balls per inning. Brush just be patient, and that pitch is inside, ball 4. And on the pass ball, Mesh runs hard down first base, but Brad Wolf puts the stop sign on Landon, and he stays home at first. Tanner Ledgate, 1 for 1 on the day, comes to the plate. Mesh leads off, 3-step, 4-step lead, the pitch, and that ball popped up by Ludgate and out of play. Yuma in the 2nd inning, 2 mental errors. They let 2 balls drop, and that pitch was going to be an off-speed pitch, but he didn't get in on top of it, and it ended up going over Ludgate's head. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tanner. The pitch, and that ball hit out towards left center field, And Hines comes over, Escobar comes over, and Escobar is the one that ends up hauling that in left center field for the out. Mesh at first. Jillick walked his last at bat. Jillick takes a pitch inside part of the plate, a strike. Jillick walked and moved up on pass balls and then scored on the ball that was popped up in the infield that should have been caught. The pitch inside. Evens account 1. Keaton Jillick, a sophomore for the Brush Beat Diggers. 286 on the season. Mesh, and good lead at first, and Jillick fouls that to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jillick. Mesh 3-step, and pitch is outside and pass ball. And Mesh moves up to second. Count evens at 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Mesh on at second. 1 out in the inning. Jillick, good opportunity in order to be able to drive in a run for the Diggers. And that pitch is outside, wild pitch, and Mesh moves up to third. Full count on Jillick. And Mesh at third base on the wild pitch. Montez having issues with that. Christian Thompson also having a hard time receiving those. Full count, wind up and the pitch, and to the plate, and Jillick walks. That's his second walk. Four walks for Montez. And we're in the third inning, 2 1/3 innings for Montez. Albert comes to the plate. Jillick off with the pitch. Albert takes that for a ball upstairs. Jillick takes second on this defensive indifference. They didn't throw down. 1 ball, no strikes to Sawyer Albert, and that ball fouled down the right field line. Sawyer's in the same position he was his last at bat. Runners at second and third. Excellent opportunity in order to be able to drive in a couple runs for the Diggers. Brush with a 3-0 lead here on the top of the third inning. 1 out. Pitch is upstairs. 2 balls and a strike to Sawyer Albert. Pitch to Albert upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike. Better Electric, covering all electric work from residential to commercial to agricultural. Better does matter. Call 970-521-1030. Montez, the sign, the pitch, and that ball fouled down the right field line. Three-two to Sawyer Albert, 1 out. First base is vacant. Mesh at third, Jillick at second. The pitch, and that ball is off the glove of the catcher, and Albert down to first on the walk, and Mesh comes into the plate on the passed ball. Brush with a 4-0 lead. Brush with runners at first and third, 1 out. Edgar Ortiz will come to the plate. Sawyer Albert on at first, Keaton Jillick on at third. Mesh came in and scored. And let's see, Brady Neiswanger, coach, longtime coach for Yuma, comes out and talks to his pitcher, Hugo Montez. Hugo Montez sitting on 65 pitches, 32 strikes, 33 balls. 65 pitches, and we're not through the third inning yet. I don't know how deep Coach Niswanger's bullpen is going to be today. They've got the 2 games against Burlington on Saturday. I'm sure they'll save Rayleigh Trejo and Silas Bauke for those 2 ball games. The pitch in the dirt to Edgar Ortiz. Hugo Montez from the stretch. Runners at first and third. Brush with a run on a hit here in the third inning. The pitch from Montez in the dirt, and Albert takes second. So runners at second and third for Edgar Ortiz. 1 out in the inning. Brush 4-0 over the Yuma Outlaws. The pitch from Montez, and that pitch almost hit Ortiz. 3 balls, no strikes to Edgar Ortiz. Stubbs Gas and Oil, one-stop shopping does exist. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories. Get off I-76 at exit 66A in Wiggins to visit them. The pitch, low and inside, and in the dirt, and Ortiz down to first base to load the bases. Hunter Proctor comes to the plate. Hunter reached base on a drop third strike. Bases loaded. Jilick at third, Albert at second, Ortiz at first. The pitch, no place to put him. Ball 1 upstairs to Hunter Proctor. First and third for Yuma is playing in. Second and short are playing double play depth. The pitch swung at and missed by Proctor. Evens a count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Brush with a 4-0 lead over the Outlaws of Yuma. Montez from the full windup, and that pitch swung at and missed by Proctor. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Montez looks more comfortable from the full windup than he does from the stretch. The pitch, and that ball outside. Evens a count at 2. No place to put the batter. 2-2 on the way. Low and in. Full count. 1 out in the inning. Bases loaded. Full count. We'll see what Brush does here as the payoff pitch on the way, and strike 3 outside corner of the plate. 2 outs in the inning. Wiley Eicher comes to the plate. Wiley walked his last at bat. And that ball swung at and missed by Wiley. Montez took a little bit off that pitch. Full windup and the pitch, and that ball hit out towards second base, and Pensado picks it up and tosses it to Bauke at second for the 6-4 putout. Brush scores 1 run on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded. There were no Yuma errors. After 2.5 innings of play, Brush 4, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers with a 4-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. Marvin Duarte, the designated hitter for Yuma, will be coming to the plate. He's a designated hitter for Tanner Hines, the left fielder. Duarte comes to the plate. Hitting 146 on the season with 14 strikeouts. Brush finishes up their last warm-up and around the horn and to the pitcher, Odell. Percy Odell, as we head to the bottom of the third inning. 28 pitches, 19 strikes, 19 balls. 19 strikes, 9 balls. Those 28 strikes, the pitch. And that ball fouled on the attempted bunt back and over the screen. The 0-1, Odell, and that ball swung at and missed by, or hit down the right field line, foul by Duarte. Coach Odell's going to have Edgar Ortiz move in 2 steps to the edge of the grass at third base, the pitch, and that ball fouled by Duarte up and over the screen. Count remains, no balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2, and that ball hit out towards Mesh at second. Mesh on 2 hops, picks it up over to first, 4-3 on the putout. Alex Pensado comes to the plate for the Outlaws. Pensado hitting 104, 22 strikeouts in the season. Number 9 hitter for the Outlaws. Odell, the offering, strike on the outside corner. Pitch, a strike at the belt, right down the middle of the plate. Odell ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. To the shortstop, Pensado, and outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Pensado. The 1-2, and that pitch is swung at and missed for strike 3. 2 outs in the inning. Angel Escobar, the senior center fielder, comes to the plate for the Outlaws. Escobar had a solid line drive, base hit, his first at bat. 2 outs in the pitch, and that ball popped up down the right field line and foul. After Escobar got on base, Lennox Hua grounded to Tanner Ludgate, and Brush had a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. That ball fouled down the right field line. Odell ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Gets a sign from his battery mate, Wiley Eicher, the pitch. And that pitch taken a little bit off. Curved outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch number 40 for Percy Odell is on its way, and that ball swung at and missed for strike 3 out of 40 pitches. Percy has thrown 29 strikes, 11 balls, and Yuma strikes out. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base after 3 complete innings of play. Brush Beat Diggers 4, Yuma Outlaws 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers with a 4-0 lead as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Beautiful sunshiny day, 65 degrees. Wind is still out of the west-northwest, 20 to 30 miles an hour. Yuma has a pitching change. Christian Thompson to the mound, and Hugo Montez behind the plate. So the 2 just end up switching things around. Christian Thompson, 2 2/3 innings. Coming into this game, 2 base on balls in the 2 2/3 innings and 1 strikeout. Christian Thompson's ERA, 15.75, and 0-1, 1-loss record for Christian Thompson. Looks like he might even have a knuckleball as he's thrown a few of his warm-up pitches as I've been watching here, and so he's going to change some things up. Brush is going to see some things that they've never they've not seen yet this year. I don't think, because probably don't face too many guys that will throw a knuckleball. Percy Odell comes to the plate, 2 for 2. Solid single in the first, and his last at bat, he popped it up, and they had a meeting at the mound, but nobody reached out in order to catch that for a base hit. So Percy 2 for 2 on the day. Percy's batting average should be getting up closer to 300. Pitch fouled at the plate. So Christian Thompson ahead in the count. No balls and a strike. 4-0, top of the fourth inning. Brush beat Diggers over the Yuma Outlaws, and that ball hit towards Pensado, and Trejo picks it up at third and over to first. And 5-3 on the put out. Trejo to Lynch. And because Thompson throws a soft pitch, Odell was out in front, and that ball was hit softly towards Pensado, but Trejo picked it up and threw over to first. Picked it up from as third baseman, picked it up and threw it over to first base for the first pitch to Ben Metlin, a strike outside corner. Ben 0 for 2 on the day, right fielder for the Beat Diggers. And Thompson's pitch inside evens a count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Full windup and the pitch from Thompson, and that ball hit out towards left field, base hit, and Metlin on 1 for 3 on the day with a single to left field. Landon Mesh comes to the plate, 0 for 1. He walked his last at bat. Metlin leads off at first, 2-step, 3-step lead, and that ball hit towards the gap in between first base and second base on the ground, and to the right fielder. Lennox Hua picks it up, and Metlin over to second. Mesh at first with a base hit. Mesh 1 for 2 on the day. Tanner Ledgate 1 for 2 coming into this at bat. Runners at first and second. 1 out. Thompson the pitch, and that ball hit down the left field line and foul. Ledgate hit the ball hard, and it was almost fair. It's about a foot foul. And that definitely would have driven in Metlin at second, and Mesh, who knows where he would have ended up second for sure, but whether he'd have moved up to third, we'll see. First and second, 1 out, 0-1 to Ledgate, and that pitch upstairs. Evens a count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jillick in the on-deck circle for the Beat Diggers. And that pitch inside to Ludgate. 2 balls and a strike. Montez was right at 70 pitches through his 3 innings of work. And that ball fouled down left field line by Ludgate. Evens count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 out. Runners at first and second for the Beat Diggers. And that ball, and the runners will move up. That ball was in the dirt, and pass ball by Montez, the catcher. So full count. Runners at second and third, full count, and that ball almost hit Ludgate. So Ludgate walks, loads the bases for the Beat Diggers. Keaton Gillick comes to the plate. Keaton, number 12 on his back. Runners, bases occupied. Pitch to Gillick, a ball low and in. 1 out in the inning. Keaton Gillick, 2 walks on the day. Pitch, and that ball fouled down the right field line. Evens the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And that pitch to Gillick upstairs. No place to put Gillick. Bases juiced for the Beat Diggers. 4-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. Christian Thompson gets a sign from Montez. The pitch, and that ball popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. Batter is out, and Lynch comes in, grabs the ball anyway for the out. So 2 outs in the inning. So the runners stay where they are. Sawyer Albert comes to the plate with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Sawyer 0 for 1 on the day. Pitch from Thompson, a strike outside corner. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike to Sawyer Albert. Thompson the pitch. And that pitch, a strike at the knees. Thompson's coming in and throwing strikes. The 1-2 pitch to Albert, and that ball hit towards third base, and it takes a bad hop over Trejo's head, and 1 run scores. Metland comes in and scores. Mesh holds tight at third base. So a seeing eye single over Trejo's head into left field scores the 5th run for the Beat Diggers. Bases remain loaded for the Diggers. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Beat Diggers. The pitch from Thompson inside to Edgar Ortiz. Ortiz with a sacrifice fly and a walk, officially 0 for 0 today for Ortiz. The pitch from Thompson in the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes to Edgar Ortiz. Aside from the mental errors that Yuma has had, there's been no fielding miscues by either team. The pitch from Thompson, and that ball hit by Ortiz out over the left fielder's head. Mesh comes in and scores 6 runs. Ludgate comes in and scores 7 runs. Albert comes in and scores. There's 8 runs for the Beat Diggers, and Ortiz with a bases clearing double over the left fielder's head, and Hunter Proctor comes to the plate. 0 for 2 on the day. Ortiz leads off at second, and that ball outside to Proctor. 3 runs in the second inning, a run in the third inning, and 4 here in the top of the 4th inning for the Beat Diggers with their 8-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. And that ball hit by Proctor out to left field, and base hit between the shortstop and third base. And Ortiz moves up to third base. Wiley Eicher comes to the plate. Runners at first and third for the Beat Diggers. Brush with an 8-0 lead. 2 outs in the inning. And on the pitch, Proctor to second, and the pitch is a ball. So runners at second and third. Eicher, the number 9 hitter for the Beat Diggers. Ortiz at third, and the pitch low and inside to Eicher. 2 balls, no strikes to Wiley. Thompson the pitch, and that ball in the dirt, and no place for the runners to advance as the ball stays in front of the catcher Montez. 3 balls, no strikes to Eicher. Thompson the full windup and the pitch, and that pitch outside, ball 4. Loads the bases for the Beat Diggers. Percy Odell comes to the plate. Initially, I thought Thompson come in and threw strikes. The pitch, strike, and that's pitch number 30 for Christian Thompson here in the top of the 4th inning. 15 balls, 15 strikes. Odell at the plate, and that pitch just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bases loaded. Brush with an 8-0 lead. 4 runs here in the top of the 4th inning. Looking to add more. Top of the order at the lineup, and that ball popped up and over the screen. So Thompson ahead in the count to Odell. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Thompson the pitch, and that ball hit out past pitcher into center field, and Ortiz comes in and scores run number 9. Proctor rounds 3rd and comes in and scores run number 10 on the single by Odell. Odell is 3 for 4 on the day. So Brush 10 runs on the day. 6 runs here on the top of the 4th. And Thompson tries to pick off Eicher at second, but Eicher's back in safely. Odell on at first, Eicher on at second. Pitch to Ben Metlin. Outside, ball 1. Pitch to Metlin from Thompson is on the inside part of the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners at first and second. Brush with 6 runs here on the top of the 4th inning. Brush with a 10-0 lead. A lead that feels good, I'm almost positive. Brush with a 9-game losing streak. That pitch to Metlin inside. 3 balls, no strikes. The pitch, and that outside for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. Rudy's Tires, 9 locations across northeast Colorado and Nebraska means there's always a location close by. Rudy's Tires brings you 10-10 preps and more every weekday. In the pitch, outside, ball 4. Loads the bases. Visit rudystires.com for more. Landon Mesh to the plate. And Thatcher Queen comes in to run for the catcher, Wiley Eicher, courtesy runner. And that ball hit out 1 hop to Thompson. Thompson picks it up, throws it over to Lynch at first for the out. Brush with a 10-0 lead as we finished the top of the 4th inning. Brush scores 6 runs on 4 hits. There were no errors, and there were 3 runners left on base. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Digger Baseball, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yuma Outlaws comes to the plate. Lennox Hua will be leading off this bottom of the 4th inning against Percy Odell and the Brush Beat Diggers. Odell finishes up his warm-up tosses. Brush with a 10-0 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 65 degrees, the wind still out of the north-northwest, 25 to 30 miles per hour. Yuma hits from the left side. Yuma hitting .423. Grounded out his first time up, 0 for 1 on the day. That pitch to Yuma outside. Yuma playing right field today for the Outlaws. Open stance by Yuma, the pitch from Odell, and that ball fouled down the left field line. Odell ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Percy's doing exactly what he needs to do. Throw strikes today. Get ahead of the hitters. The 0-2 pitch. And that ball fouled down the right field line on the ground past Sawyer Albert, first baseman for the Beat Diggers. Gillick in left, Proctor in center, Metlin in right. Ortiz at third, Ludgate at short. The pitch from Odell, and that pitch is just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mesh at second, Albert at first. Eicher behind the plate, and Percy Odell, pitch number 45. On the way, the pitch, and fouled down the check swing foul, and about halfway between third and home. So 2-2. Oh, umpire switches me up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I got ahead of myself. Yuma choked up on the bat about 3 inches, the pitch, and that pitch is outside. Now we've got 2 balls, 2 strikes. I knew they'd cooperate and they'd come around to my way of thinking here before long. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out as Yuma leads off here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The pitch just outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Silas Bauke on deck. The pitch from Odell, and that pitch swung at and missed by Yuma. Strike out for Percy Odell. Probably a good thing, you know, as Bauke is Mr. Everything. Had the double in the first inning, hitting .455 coming into the game. Big strapping young man. 1 out, the pitch, and that pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Percy threw a little wrinkle at Bauke, keep him off balance. Percy ahead in the count, no balls and a strike to Bauke, and that pitch outside. Count evens at 1. Pitch from Odell, and that ball hit out towards left field, and Keaton Gillick hauls that in for the out in left field. So Bauke 1 for 2 on the day. Rayleigh Trejo comes to the plate, sophomore, number 2 on his back for the Outlaws. 2 outs here in the inning. Pitch from number 2 Odell to number 2 Trejo, outside, ball 1. Brush with a 10-0 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. 2 outs, pitch, and that ball hit by Trejo down the left field line and foul. Count evens at 1 on that. In the top of the fourth inning, Brush had the 4-0 lead, and a bad hop, a seeing eye hop over Trejo's head at third broke the dam open for the Beat Diggers. Trejo hits the ball hard between third and short on the ground into left field for a base hit. So Trejo on at first. Carson Lynch comes to the plate. Lynch, 3-0-2 coming into the game, 0 for 1. Flew out his first time up. that pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Odell ahead in the count, no balls and a strike. Trejo leads off at first. Odell to sign the pitch, and that pitch, a strike on the outside corner. Odell ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. 55 pitches here in the 4th inning for Percy Odell, 39 strikes, 16 balls. Ahead in the count, 0-2 and strike 3. Outside corner, bat still on Lynch's shoulder. So Yuma, no runs, 1 hit. 1 runner left, no Brush Beat Digger errors. After 4 complete innings of play, Brush Beat Diggers 10, Yuma Outlaws 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and Eastern Plains Sports Network. Top of the 5th inning we go. Kevin Fergus with you on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush with a 10-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. And we got a pitching change. And it looks like, let's see, Marvin Duarte comes in to pitch. Montez stays behind the plate. See if I can find where everybody else ended up. Let's just do that. Put Duarte in on the mound. Thompson gave up the 6 runs in the 4th inning. Duarte, 8 2/3 innings. Out of those 8 2/3 innings, 14 base on balls, 8 strikeouts. And Marvin Duarte has a 7.27 ERA coming into this game. Brush Beat Diggers, 1 inning away from being able to secure the victory and snap the 9-game losing streak. What a relief that will be. Going into the game tomorrow when Brush plays the Indians from Strasburg. That'll be at Sunset Field on 1010 KSIR at 4 p.m. John Beltran will have the call. Tanner Ludgate comes to the plate for the Beat Diggers here in the top of the 5th inning. Brush line score, 10 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Brush has had 8 runners left on base. Yuma, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We won't count the mental errors. Pitch from Duarte, a ball to Ludgate. Ludgate 1 for 2 on the day. A single, fly out, and a walk his last at bat. Duarte the pitch, and that ball hit out towards left field between third base and shortstop, and the ball gets past the left fielder, Tanner Hines, and Ludgate moves up to second base. I think we're going to have to give an error on that, but a single and an error on the left fielder, because otherwise Ludgate would have stayed at first base. Gillick comes to the plate. Pitch, strike at the plate. So Ludgate gets credit for the base hit, but moves up on the air. Pitch from Duarte, and that ball popped up. Lynch comes over. Lynch clangs off his glove as he's running towards the first base dugout. No runners advanced. Gillick ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Just remember what Lynch did. That pitch hit out towards left field, and that ball is a single to left field. And that ball over the third baseman's head, and with that, Gillick moves up to second. So we will go single for Gillick to left. Ludgate moves up to third, and on the throw, Gillick moves up to second on the air by the left fielder. So 2 errors on the left fielder today. Actually, there was an error on Lynch, first baseman, because he could have caught that. Pitch to Albert, a ball. Duarte with the pitch, strike at the outside corner. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners at second and third. Albert's come up to base, up the bat today several times with runners in perfect position, and that ball fouled down the left field line. First 2 times that Albert came to the plate, runners at second and third. Albert's last at bat, bases were loaded, and he delivered with a single. And now we have bases at runners at second and third again for Albert. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 runners on base when Sawyer Albert's come to the plate today. The pitch from Duarte, and that ball swung at and missed. Dropped third strike. Albert on at first. Ludgate stays at third. Gillick stays at second. So we've got the dropped third strike, and everybody stays right where they are. And Albert on at first. So bases loaded. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Edgar Ortiz comes to the plate. The pitch from Duarte, outside. Ball 1. Ludgate on at third. Gillick at second. And Brush has a pinch runner at first, number 43, and I don't have 43 on my my list. Of course, he's going to come in and run. I don't know who that is. So my apologies, but the pitch to Ortiz, low. 2 balls, no strikes to Edgar Ortiz. Duarte 2-0, and that pitch outside. 3 balls, no strikes. No place to put Ortiz. Duarte with the offering, and that pitch, strike at the knees. 3 balls and a strike to Edgar Ortiz. Bases loaded for the Bee Diggers. Brush with a 10-0 lead over the Outlaws of Yuma. The 3-1 pitch from Duarte, and that ball fouled down the right field line. Out of play. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Duarte from the stretch, the offering, low and outside. Ortiz walks. Brush with their 11th run as Tanner Ludgate comes in and scores. Ortiz takes first. Number 43 for the Bee Diggers on at second, and Gillick on at third. Hunter Proctor at the plate. Pitches outside to Proctor. Proctor with a base hit, his last at bat. The pitch from Duarte, and that ball fouled down the third base line. Count evens at 1. Brush with 11 runs today. Pitch from Duarte. Upstairs. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Proctor. Hugo Montez, catcher, goes out and talks to Marvin Duarte, his pitcher, just to make sure they're on the right page. I'm sure he's telling Duarte, hey, we don't have any place where we can put this runner. You got to throw strikes, dude. Proctor ahead in the count. 2 balls and a strike. The wind's still whipping, 20 to 30 miles an hour. 2-1, and that pitch, a strike On the outside part of the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes to Proctor. Bases loaded, nobody out. Brush with 11-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. The pitch, and that ball swung at and missed. Strike 3 by Proctor. 1 out in the inning. Wiley Eicher comes to the plate, 0 for 1 officially on the day. 2 walks and a ground out. Duarte, the pitch, and that ball gets past Montez, but the runners stay right where they are. And Brush is going to have a pinch runner for Edgar Ortiz. Dylan Krob comes in to run at first base. So Krob at first, number 43 for the Diggers at second, and Keaton Gillick at third. The 1-0 pitch to Wiley Eicher, and that pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes to the senior Wiley Eicher. Graduation is Sunday for the Beat Diggers on Mother's Day, the 12th. That pitch hit out towards third base. Trejo picks it up, steps on third for the first force out. Fielder's choice. Gillick comes in and scores the 12th run for the Beat Diggers. Looks like Thatcher Queen comes in to run at first for Wiley Eicher. Runners move up to second and third on the pass ball by Hugo Montez. Ball hit out to left field, and that scores Krob, and Thatcher Queen comes in and scores. So that gives Brush a 14-0 lead over the Yuma Outlaws. Percy Odell at the plate. Percy gets a base hit. Ben Matlin comes to the plate for the Beat Diggers. Matlin hits the ball down the left field line, and that's going foul, and it's going to be foul ball. I missed a pitch, 2 pitches, and to Matlin, 1 ball, 2 strikes. I had to catch up on my scorekeeping. This Brush has 14 runs. Scored on the day. Matlin at the plate. Odell off with the pitch. Odell second base. Pitch was in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Ben Matlin. Temperature of the game up to 66 degrees. Duarte the pitch, and that ball hit towards Trejo at third, over to first, and Lynch corrals it, and 5-3 on the put out. Brush Beat Diggers score 4 in the top of the 5th to take a 14-0 lead over the Yuma Indians. Brush 4 runs on 4 hits, and there was 1 runner left on base. After 4.5 innings of play, Brush 14, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers looking to erase their 9-game losing streak against the Yuma Outlaws. Brush with a 14-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brush within 3 outs of being able to secure the victory and to be able to move to 8-13 on the season. Brush has games tomorrow against Strasburg and game on Saturday against Platte Valley Broncos. Both of those games are at home. Odell finishes up his last warm-up toss, and Eicher throws down to second. They throw around the horn, and Hugo Montez comes to the plate for the Outlaws. 0 for 1 on the day. Percy will be facing the 6, 7, 8 hitters here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Percy with 56 pitches, 40 strikes. At this point, the pitch to Montez, a strike outside corner. Percy's been pounding the zone, getting ahead in the count all day. And that's been a nice job by Percy as he's pitched this shutout so far today. The pitch is upstairs to Hugo Montez. Bank of Colorado, they believe in keeping things simple. Apply for your loan for your dream home fully online. Visit bankofcolorado.com for all the information today. Pitch from Odell, swung at and missed by Montez. Odell ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Percy gets a sign from Eicher, the pitch, and swung at and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout swinging. 1 out in the inning. Brush 2 outs away from securing their victory. Miller's Landscaping, you put so much time and effort into your show animals, offering a wide selection of livestock feeds and supplies. Stop by 19645 County Road Q in Fort Morgan. From the full windup, Percy Odell swung at and missed by number 21. Substitute here. 21, Carlos Wario. The 0-1 pitch is a strike called on the outside corner. So Percy ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Wario the pitch and swung at and missed, strike 3. So down to the last out for Yuma. Number 18 comes to the plate. Braden Brunk, a senior for the Outlaws. Odell, 2 outs in the inning. The pitch, and that pitch is upstairs, a ball. Brunk an upright at bat and swung at and missed. Evens the count at 1. Percy Odell, the pitch. That pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike. Percy Odell spinning a 3-hitter against the Yuma Outlaws. Odell, the pitch. And that pitch is low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Braden Brunk. The pitch and swung at and fouled at the plate. Even brings the full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Brush with a 14-0 lead. 1 strike away from erasing their 9-game losing streak. The pitch, and that ball popped up. Percy Odell underneath it for the out and the ball game. Brush wins 14-0. We'll take a short break and we'll be back and we'll do a recap and call this game the end. Brush 14, Yuma 0. You're listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Brush Beat Diggers with a 14-0 victory over the Yuma Outlaws. Brush moves to 8-13. Their 9-game losing streak is snapped. Brush does have a game tomorrow against Strasburg at 4 p.m. And they've got a game Saturday against Platte Valley. Both of those games are at Sunset Field. For the Brush Beat Diggers today, Percy Odell pitches a gem for the Diggers. In the 5 innings that he pitched, 68 pitches, 48 strikes. And Percy struck out 7 and gave up 3 hits and no base on balls at all for Brush. Numerous gentlemen today had base hits. Percy was 4 for 5. Ben Metlin 1 for 4. Landon Mesh 1 for 3. Tanner Ludgate 2 for 3. Keaton Jillick 1 for 2. Sawyer Albert 1 for 3. Edgar Ortiz 1 for 1. Hunter Proctor 1 for 4. And Wiley Eicher 1 for 2. So all the hitters in the Brush lineup had base hits. And with that, let's see. Ortiz leads the way with 5 RBIs. Percy Odell had 3 RBIs. And that pretty much sums up what Brush did. Yuma ended up having 3 pitchers on the day, and they threw 145 pitches, and out of those 145 pitches, only 73 strikes, 72 balls. So Brush happened to be selective at the plate. Brush did strike out 5 times, but they did walk 10 times on the day. Brush had 13 hits to secure the victory. So for the Beat Diggers, 14 runs, 13 hits. There were no errors by the Beat Diggers. Brush left 9 runners on base. For Yuma, no runs, 3 hits. There were 2 Yuma errors. There were a couple mental errors where the ball dropped in between fielders, and that did not help. And then Brush did have a seeing eye single that drove in a couple runs. And Yuma leaves 2 runners on base. So 14, 13, and 0 for the Diggers, and for Yuma, 0, 3, and 2 on runs, hits, and errors. The Beat Diggers, as I mentioned, moved to 8 and 13. Their 9-game losing streak is over. They've got a 1-game winning streak. See if they can continue that as they move on this week and prepare for playoffs. Playoffs would be the weekend of the 18th at a site to be determined. So for the Beat Diggers, they get the victory today. The sound engineer and producer of Brush Beat Digger Baseball is Rose Condis. I'm Kevin Fergus with the final score. Brush Beat Diggers 14, Yuma Outlaws 0. You've been listening to Beat Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.